Hey all, it's Vintage Vinny, and welcome to a brand new series on my channel, Coca-Cola Trays 101, where I share an original tray and a reproduction tray and go over the differences so you can tell the originals from the repros. So the 1916 Elaine tray is the only tray that the Coca-Cola company made in this elongated shape. As you can see, it features a beautiful young woman dressed in all yellow and she's holding a Coca-Cola glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the original with you all first so you guys get an idea of what to look for in the originals, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the reproduction tray. So when you are looking at an original Coca-Cola tray, note the really nice, bright, crisp colors on this piece. Isn't it amazing? Just an outstanding piece from the Coca-Cola company. Now there are a couple things that I want you to be on the lookout for when we are looking at this tray here. You see right there inside the tail of the C in Coca, there's a trademark registered there, and that is a clear indication that it is original. Also note the really nice crisp border on it. Look at that. Very nice and intricate. Now it is really hard to see there, but there is some markings right there. I think it says Steel Signs Metalware, probably the Passaic Metalware Company in Passaic, New Jersey. And then over here, right there, it says the Coca-Cola Company. Those markings down there, if you were able to spot them, are another good way to tell the original from the reproduction. So another good way to tell the original from the reproduction is the back here. You've got kind of like a gunmetal green, almost like an army green, camo green backing. So that's another good way to indicate the age of this piece. So now that we've looked at the original, let's go ahead and take a look at the reproduction. Okay, so one of the first indications that you have a reproduction tray is the really almost like fuzzy image of the girl, of Elaine. I mean, do you see that? It's not as crisp and clear as the original at all. So that's one good indication that it is not an original and is from the early 1970s. If we look in the Coca-Cola logo, you'll notice that the patent is not in the tail of the C in Coca. It is underneath the tray, under Reg US Padoff, and I believe that that started in the late 1940s and into the 1950s when Coca-Cola started doing that with their trays. Now the border may confuse you, but it also is not printed on there as nicely as the original. And of course there will not be any inscriptions on the bottom like I shared with you all in the originals. But yeah, just look at how like fuzzy and just not as nice as the originals. So yeah, like I mentioned, the trademark will be in the C in Coca, and we'll say trademark registered. Note the original will be nice and clear and crisp, and it's just not as nice as the original. Now granted, if you bought this and you wanted to use it to serve drinks on, absolutely. But just please be mindful that it is not an original. It's clear that this is a reproduction. Now on the back, you see we have kind of like a grayish color, which is another good indication that it is a reproduction. Because remember, the original would have like a gunmetal green. This is not a green color. This is more of like a gray. So now that we have looked at each tray individually, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. So remember how I said that the border would be nice, bright, and intricate, whereas on the reproduction, it's not as nicely put on there and it's not as detailed. Also, I mentioned that the trademark registered would be in the C in Coca, whereas on the reproduction, it is underneath Coca-Cola and says Reg US Padoff, which they started in the 1950s. Again, look at the brightness of the original versus the reproduction. It's almost like a screened print and not as nice as the original. And remember I said that there is some writing saying it's from the Passaic Metalware Company on the bottom. I apologize if you can't see that, but it is not present on the reproduction. So here is the side-by-side comparison of the reproduction versus the original on the back. So remember how I said you look for like an army green, gray color on the left? That is the original. It's a little bit darker. And on the right, we have the reproduction, which the gray is a little bit lighter. So that is a clear indication of the reproduction. And folks, there you have it. This concludes the first episode of Coca-Cola Trays 101. If you have any questions about this tray, or maybe I left something out, let me know down below in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate it and be glad to answer those questions. If you would like me to continue this series, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more. I would really greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next tutorial. Take care, everyone.